What's up, everybody? My name is Matthew Stratton, and on this channel I do videos to help you kind of create music. I do music videos, setup videos, tutorials, how-tos. So in this particular video, I kind of want to give you 10 must-have items that you need when you're starting out with the MPC Live. Alright, so in no particular order, I'm going to go ahead and go through this list. And you can see a link in the comments for all of these items. Or excuse me. You can see a list in the description for all of these items. Let me make sure that I'm actually live here, and I'll get right into this. I'm kind of using a new setup. Hey, what's up? How's it going, Dynasty? So got a train going by. You know, it's all about timing, right? So let me go ahead and get right into this. So the list. It's in the description, all right? So let me go ahead. Again, I'm still testing out this new software. This is the vMix software, but all right. So the first thing I got here, all right, I have the Audio-Technica ATH M50X. All right, so these headphones, all right, let me just tell you my experience with these headphones. So obviously, if you're using MPC Live, you need headphones. Are you likely going to need headphones? All right. So I'm recommending these headphones simply because they're awesome, right? So let me come back here for a second. All right. So if you checked out these headphones, all right. So I've used several pair of headphones. I actually have a few floating around here, but when I bought these headphones, like the first night I had these, I plugged them into my phone, and I was listening to a rapper named Idea, and I was listening to the album The Many Faces of Oliver Hart, and I had this plugged right into it. Okay, so the MPC Live has the connection where you need the 1/8 inch, you know, to use it. This has that. Okay, so I was actually listening to this album, and I heard this album hundreds of times before, but I was hearing vocals in this album that I never even knew were on there. Like, I was hearing different frequencies and different things. I was like, oh, he's saying something there? So there's a lot of clarity in these headphones. If you, yeah, they're in different colors. So I have the black version. Yeah, these are great headphones. See, there you go. It's like, if you watch enough videos, right, on YouTube, you'll see these headphones like all over the place. You pay attention, and there's a reason why. It's not because, oh, okay, they're Audio-Technica, they're cool, but they do look cool. They have a cool, you know, you get different colors. But if you look here, you know, you can get the blue 005 Dynasty's got the white, it looks like, but they just have a lot of clarity to them, and you know, you can hear all the, you know, the frequency ranges. You can hear a little bit of the bass, the trebles, everything. So I really recommend these headphones. Okay, so let's go ahead and the next item I have on this list. Let's go ahead and get through this list right here. All right, so I have the SanDisk 128 gig Ultra SD card. All right, so the MPC Live has, you know, the ability to have an SD card. All right, so this is my storage of preference. All right, so it has built-in memory, right? It has 10 gigabytes of built-in memory, or 10 gigabytes, but you cannot access that memory outside of the MPC Live. So you need something like an SD card or a flash drive or an internal card, SSD drive, to be able to transfer those MPC files to different computers, or if you want to share it with somebody. These right here, I've been using these SanDisk for a while. I actually just bought this particular one because it's like 25 bucks. It's 128 gigabytes. So my thought is I can go ahead and make an album or whatever, you know, load this thing up with my samples, boom, 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 and whenever I'm done and I fill up the disk, I could go ahead and archive it. I could, boom, archive it, go ahead and spend another 25 bucks on a new one, and then start the process over again. Now they do have, you know, the 32 for 10. You know, there's different sizes, right? And these prices fluctuate all the time, so you know, just kind of shop around. But yeah, you need some kind of memory. Okay, so the next item on my list here is right here. Boom, boom, boom. And you can see I always read about these. This is why I like try to go to Amazon a lot. I buy a lot of stuff from Amazon because you can read about it, right? You can read I believe, hey, what's up, Polypopo? Are there bigger SD cards? There are. For some reason, they're just not showing up here. Maybe not in that particular one. Let's find out. SD cards. But yeah, you gotta have some kind of memory, like, you know, 256 gigabyte. So you could definitely get bigger SD cards, right? But that was the, you know, the little micro SD. I'm sure if they make it micro SD, they make it bigger. But I was looking at this. It's like a really good price for this right now. Now, this is the one thing on this list that I don't actually have. It's the Samsung. This is the 500 gigabyte, the 860 Evo. You could put one of these solid state drives in your MPC, and you know, you could load that thing up with all your samples. You know what I'm saying? And then, you know, that's a lot of memory, man. It'd take you a little while to fill that thing up if you're sampling organically. You know what I'm saying? Now, I don't have this one, so I can't say good or bad things about it. But whenever I'm looking in the forums and everything, a lot of people recommend Samsung. So that's that there. But yeah, about getting the smaller SD ones, right? Because, you know, like back in the day, you would have, now back onto the SD cards. Back in the day, you would have, you know, like a floppy drives, or, you know, the other different kind of drives for your old MPCs. So you'd be able to keep those files on storage. And, you know, nowadays everything's on the computer, but I kind of like having it, you know, backed up. You can have everything backed up on these SD cards. You finish with an album, boom. You know what I'm saying? You could keep the SD card and come back to it later if you want to do a remix, what have you. But let's go ahead and get on to the next item here. All right, so the Audio-Technica AT LP60. All right, this is the black one. I actually have the silver one. All right, so this is, let me fade back over. All right, so this is an automatic belt-driven turntable. You can play your 33s on there. You can play your 45s on there. I have it sitting right behind me here, and my little station over here that I've been doing my MPC work on. And you could plug this thing right into your MPC. I set it up. You do have to attach the belt when you first get it, but I set it up. It's all automatic. It's an inexpensive price, and it's been working effectively. I haven't had any issues with it. Like I say, you can use your 33s or your 45s, and there's a little like a circle adapter to use your 33s, you know, your little EPs, you know, and it works just fine. I haven't had any issues with it. All right. So yeah, that's a pretty good one right there. Some other items, you know, I'm just going to kind of breeze through this list here. The next item I have is this one. This thing. Now, I don't have this one, actually. I have the older model. Where is it at? Recorder only. So this is the model I have. But there's an updated version. So I'm sure it works even better. I would imagine. But the reason why I like this thing is because you can record your live jams on the MPC right into this Zoom H1. All right. And now you might be like, well, you could just export it and, you know, have your songs exported digitally and everything's good. And that's true. You could do that. But this makes it to where you can record like your live jams if you do any live tweaks on the knobs. If you do certain things, like say you're recording live in a video and you just want to record your live jam, you connect it to this. You know, you got the line in right there. You know what I'm saying? And you set your levels. And then you got the line out right there where you could put your headphones on. So you can monitor everything you're recording right there with this thing. And that's one thing I like it. And the volume for the headphones is actually independent. So you can turn up or down the volume of what you're playing and it won't affect the recording at all. You see what I mean? And it's a very simple interface. You know what I'm saying? You push record, you're recording. It has different settings on it. Like the one I have, if I could find the one I have, it has, you know, where you can record WAV or you record MP3 right here on the back. Boom. It's got the low cut filter on it, the auto level. For whatever reason you want to use the auto level, but you could set the level manually as well. And then the WAV and MP3. So this thing's pretty good, pretty clear recordings. You plug your MPC right into it. You know what I'm saying? Works out pretty good. All right, so let me go ahead and take a look over here. All right, I hope everybody's doing good tonight. It's nighttime where I'm at, you know what I'm saying? But let me go ahead and go to the next item here. All right, so now let me go ahead and fade back over. I have a few of these down in the list below because I actually have a few of these. Okay, so these cables are like, they're kind of budget, you know, but I've been using them for years and I haven't had any issues with them personally yet. So I recommend these for sure. These right here. And these, you know, there's every kind of flavor you want of these. These are actually the balanced stereo. All right. And you can get the different links. You know what I'm saying? And they're, you know, you got stereo cable for $10. You know, that's a pretty good price. And like I was saying, you have different ones. If you don't want the balanced, you got your TS cables here. You have the breakout cable here. This is actually the one I've been using recently. So what I do is I take this and I put these big 1/4 inches out of the outputs of the MPC Live. And then I take the other 1/8 inch and I'll put it into the H1. All right. So basically I have them right here, and right here. So I'll plug this right into the MPC, you know, and it'll come out stereo, and I'll plug it right into here, into the line in, and then I'll take my headphones, these headphones, and I'll plug this other in, you know what I'm saying, right into here. And you can monitor everything you're recording right here. Now, I recommend getting good quality batteries for these because it does take batteries. I use, you know, Energizer rechargeable batteries, and they last a while, man. I've been using this one charge for a few weeks, and but yeah, if you don't get like good batteries, it'll burn through them. Yeah, that's how I've been doing my YouTube videos. There's a question: is that how you do your YouTube videos? Yeah, that's how I've been doing them. You know, a couple of them, like some of the experiments, I've been doing them differently. Like I recorded right into the MPC software on my last experiment 3. And then a couple of them I used the Zoom, you know, Live Track L12, and that thing's awesome. That thing's great. I mean, but for my recent tutorials, I've been using this. The Zoom is awesome. And, you know, beforehand, like my first MPC jam, I used the Zoom H1 as well. So I've been using it a while. been getting good use out of it. It's still going strong. You know what I mean? But yeah, you know, there's a few different, you know, cables that I use, and I put a few of them in the links below, but you know, it's kind of like a budget cable, these Hosas. I think that's how you say it, Hosa. But I haven't had any issues with them, and I've been using them for a while. And like I say, there's every kind of flavor that you could want, you know what I mean? Adapters, everything. Mono cables, I actually have this one. I use this mono cable for the Volca, and it, you know, you could plug it right into your mixer. That actually works. All right, so it's a little information for you. So I'm going to go ahead and move right on to the next item. All right, so right here, all right, this MIDI cable, it's another Hosa cable, right? You're gonna need some MIDI cables if you're sequencing or you're doing MIDI clock, anything to that nature. You know what I'm saying? This MIDI cable right here, I got this one, and the reason why I bought two of them recently is because they're serviceable. All right, if you look at this, there, you can actually unscrew these. Say like if something goes wrong, you know, you have your MIDI cable bent and you lose a connection, which has happened on some of my cheaper cables. So that's why I upgraded to these. You know, like some of these cheap $3 or $4 cables, they only last so long, like a few months, some of them. So I went ahead and got these. That way, if something did happen, you know what I'm saying, I could actually service them. You can see right here, there's a spot where you can unscrew them. And, you know, you can service them that way. I actually have them right over here. So it's got the metal instead of like this cheap. Let's see if I can find one of these other ones. Instead of something like this, where you can't like take it apart, you'd actually have to cut this thing open to get to the connections in there. But say like if this thing went out of service, I can unscrew it and have access to what's in there and kind of solder everything back together. That's how would I take it. Anyway, that's what I'm hoping. That's why I got that one. It says serviceable on there, so that's what I'm assuming it means. You know what I'm saying? So let's see what we got, where we got. Go on to the next one. All right, so I put these on here, the Yamaha HS8. Now, I do recommend shopping around for these. I didn't pay that much for them. All right. But you could shop around for these, and if you wanted these. Now you need some kind of monitors, right? You don't have to get these. But if you get your MPC Live, there's no speakers built into it. So you need some kind of way to monitor. I got these and I love them. They sound great. I can hear the bass frequencies, I can hear the trebles, the mids. All right. My previous studio monitors, what have you, I could not hear any of the lower frequencies, like at all. It was like I was using computer speakers, which is okay, right? You could still do some things, but when I would make a mix and take it to the car, I couldn't hear nothing. Like the bass, or I couldn't hear what I intended to hear because the bass would be just so loud because I was trying to bump the bass frequencies up because I couldn't hear anything. And I got these, and you can see them actually back here. I got these, and I've actually been using these cables to connect them. These are actually the Hosa cables now. These are the balance cables. I've actually been connecting them with these and haven't had any issues. These are the Reen Silver Pro Hosa cables. They're a little bit more expensive. They're like $10 a piece. So they're like double the price, but they just feel good plugging them in and then plugging them into the speakers. Now, if you read some things, you know, I'm not like that technical about it right now, but they are TRS, and these speakers here, they take a balanced input. So I've been using that, and the MPC Live actually has balanced outputs. So I just plug that right in, and I hear clarity. It sounds good to me. Like there's no noise. I don't have any electromagnetic, interference or anything. So yeah, those are pretty good. Yes, somebody has those monitors as well. So we got the same headphones and the same monitors. It's pretty cool. Yeah, it's quality stuff. I'm happy with it. I mean, for being in the, for what I'm using it for in my house, those headphones and those speakers, and then that turntable works pretty well. All right. So let's go ahead and move on to the next one. All right. All right. So the next thing I have on here is the Arturia BEATSTEP. All right. This is the regular BEATSTEP. Now the reason why I'm recommending this for the live is because it has all the encoders. It has 16 encoders. So if you're doing some sampling in controller mode, you can put all of these encoders to the 16 Q links, and it makes it really easy to kind of trim the sample. So whatever you're doing, you know what I'm saying? It's not like the MPCX. If you have the MPCX, you might not need something like this, right? But it makes all these they're continuous encoders, so it makes it really easy to just line up exactly with the encoders on the Q links on the MPC. And so I say the software because you get the access to the global settings, and also you have access to the MIDI sync. So if you look here, there's no MIDI like input. There's only MIDI output, but you can get a MIDI sync through the USB. And the only way to MIDI sync with the MPC is to have it in controller mode. And if you do that, you can actually have, if you look at the box here, or up here, it's a controller and a sequencer. So you can actually have access to the sequencer, and I've actually experimented with this a little bit, and it does work. So you could program beats in time with the sequencer. All right, and it's just like an alternate way of doing things, just so you have more options. I know there's a lot of options already on the MPC, and it does have its own sequencer. But if you MIDI sync this thing up, I actually have one right here. All right, so if you MIDI sync this up, you can have a 16-step sequencer, and I might do a video about it actually. And I find it interesting because Akai's come out with the Fire for FL Studio. Like if they would have came out with that for the MPC, that would have been great. But they didn't. But there is this option, and I'll probably do a video. It's probably more than I can really explain right now, but you can sequence things out, and then you can use these knobs to change the notes, and then it's pretty cool. And then you can go back over to controller mode, and then you can control the Q links. And now that's all in the software mode, in controller mode, but definitely cool functionality. All right. Now, another thing would be cool if you're in standalone or whatever is you can use something like this. This is the Korg Nano Control. I've had this thing for years. But it has the faders on there, so you can, like if you were kind of doing like a live performance, you can actually control things in standalone. You can actually use the mixer controls, the level controls, the balance controls, stuff like that. And standalone with something like this. All right, so those are some options for you. All right. So let me go ahead. I'm just going to move to the next one for a second here, and because I think we're nearing the end of the video, and I'll kind of answer one or two questions at the end. Let's see, what do I got next? All right, so the next one, the Akai Professional LPK25. All right, so the reason why I'm recommending this particular one, I actually haven't used this version, but I have the wireless version, and they don't make the wireless version available anymore. Like you could see them on Amazon for $200. And really, you don't need the wireless version. I don't even use it wireless. Yes, you can do wireless with the MPC Live, but this one has all the same functionality aside from it not being wireless, and it's even more compact. And now it runs right there with the USB cable. There's no MIDI option, so you can't like MIDI sync, but you don't need to because the MPC has the arpeggiator now. So something like this would be good if you want to do some like some bass lines and you don't want to use the pads. It just makes it easier to know, okay, well, I'm on the note D, C, you know, I'm on note C, I'm on note D. It just makes it easier to see what note you're on, because the pads, they're not like, the way the pads are is sometimes it can get confusing knowing what bank you're in and what note you're using. If you have something like this, you could play your bass lines, you could play your chords, you know, tap out little melodies, and you know, be good to go there. And like I say, if you look at the description of the video, all this stuff's down there as well. So yeah, so this is the version I have. You can see $229. Yeah, this thing I paid like $40 for it. So, or something like that, $60. I don't know, it was somewhere around the same price as this. So anyways, next item, let's go ahead, move on to the next item. Okay, so this next item, I put it on here because it's kind of like the 11th item on here. My list, I already went through 1 through 10. Okay, this is kind of the 11th item. And I have tested this out a little bit. This right here, let's go ahead and get over here. This is the 11 rack. All right, so the thing about the 11 rack, right, is you can use it completely standalone. You don't have to connect it to your computer to use it. And you have, and the reason why I'm recommending this is because on the MPC Live, there's no direct, like real direct instrument input. Now you can plug your guitar in there and record it, and I tested it, okay, and then you know, it worked, but then I tested it going through this and like with no effects, just straight through the 11 rack. So I plugged my guitar in right here, and then I came right out of here. You know, you have your amp output, so you can plug this to your, you know, guitar amp, or there's main master outputs that are line level. You could plug this right into your MPC, and I did that, and it was ridiculous how much better the guitar sound. Just a clean, I'm talking about clean guitar with no effects. You can hear different frequencies and nuances in the guitar going through this thing that you couldn't hear if you just plug your guitar right into the MPC Live. And, you know, on top of that, there's effects, what have you. And there's also a mic input. There's a mic preamp on here. And there's not a mic, like a true mic preamp on the MPC Live, where this one actually has phantom power. So you can use like condenser microphones. So you plug your mic in here, you send the lines out to your MPC Live, and you record a mic. I haven't tested the mic too much. I mean, I tested it a little bit just to see if it worked, and it did work. But I haven't, like, you know, compared it a lot to if I just, you know, plug a mic right into it. Okay. But it did work. And this thing right now, if you look at the price of it, it's $199. Okay. So, that's a really good deal, right? Brand new, Amazon Prime. Yeah. Now this doesn't come with Pro Tools. But you could always download Pro Tools first if you wanted to get into Pro Tools. But yeah. So there you go. That's kind of the 11th item. Now, if you have the MPC X, you already have guitar inputs, you know, and you have your instrument input and your mic input. But on the Live, you don't have that option. So this is kind of like, you know. Now, obviously, there's other preamps that you could get that might be better or worse than this thing, but it is what it is. All right, so there's kind of like my top 10 items. I have all of these items, and I use all these items. I've actually tested all these items except for the Samsung, SSD drive. I haven't used that yet, but I shared it with you because I'm actually considering getting something like that to put in there. So I could load some samples on it. You know what I'm saying? Load my samples onto that, bring them into the SD card. Save my projects on the SD card as I'm going. And whenever I make, my album, I fill up the SD card, kind of keeping the SD card in a safe spot, and then, getting a new SD card and repeating the process. It's kind of how I'm thinking right now, but we shall see how it actually goes. You know what I mean? All right, so let me go ahead and I'll get to two of these questions here while I'm live. Let's see, how long have I been up? I don't even know. But let's see. If you want to record your jam into the MPC Live sampler, I haven't messed with the sampler too much, and the reason why, or what do you mean? I actually haven't tried to record it into the sampler yet. You might be able to. I don't know what the time limit is. I think there's a time limit. There's in the sampler, but I'll have to test that out. But that's definitely an idea. But when I record my videos on the SD card, I'll be going for 30 minutes, on the Zoom H1, and I'm not concerned about time limits. I could just keep it on record, and I have my video recording, and I just record, and I edit everything down from 30 minutes to 18 minutes. But if you're just doing a 2-minute jam, the sampler might work. I haven't tested it. Thoughts on the LP 120. So I have the 60. All right, so this is what I have. I have the Audio-Technica AT LP 60, and I plug this thing right into the MPC, and it doesn't show the outputs, but it just has regular RCA or phono outputs, and I plug them right into the MPC, and I think it sounds good. It's loud. It's loud enough. There's no issues with volume. It sounds clean. I haven't used the L20, so I'm not really sure. But this thing right here is, it's just automatic. You have less control, obviously. You're probably not going to be scratching out, some scratches on it, but you could definitely do some sampling with this one. But yeah. Do you have any pedals, and how do you go about setting up pedal board? I have some pedal. I have a pedal. I don't really use it because I occasionally use it, but let's see. Let me get back on me. I got this pedal right here, the Boss ME70. It's just a guitar pedal, man, and I use it for guitar. So, I put the input in there. And actually, one of my jams, I'm actually using this pedal, a couple of my jams. And, just put it into my mixer and record it that way. So I don't really do too much with the guitar pedals. But the what is it called? The 11 rack does have an effects loop as well, just so you know. So you can send effects, if you want some guitar effects or whatever through that. But, maybe I'll do a whole video about that. I don't know how much longer they're going to have the 11 rack available, to be honest, because if it's going for $200, it makes me think they're trying to get rid of it. It's a clearance type of deal, but we shall see. Yeah, you want to put synths through a pedal? Yeah, I don't know. I don't really do that, so I'll look I could look into it, but I'm not really sure how that would work because the synth, the levels of the synth, like if you get a guitar pedal, it's like the level of the guitar pedal is like instrument level, and then the synth is like line level. So I don't know how that converts if you use it like a guitar pedal. I know there are actual synth pedals as well. Yeah, the 11 rack is discontinued, but you know, that's why I figure if they're selling that thing for $200, that's why I have it as like the 11th item on here, because it's discontinued. I'm sure there's other options out there though, like you know, if you want to have like a bunch of effects or whatever. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. I just wanted to get this kind of a different video out there for you. The top 10 things that, you know, I think you need, depending on what you want to do with the MPC Live. You know, it's just kind of a video to kind of get you to think differently about what you might need or what you know, kind of might not need, to open up discussions. If you have any ideas, anything that you want to add to the list, leave it below. Or if you have any alternatives that you might think would be better, leave it below. Yeah, you know, thanks for checking it out, guys. Excuse me. And yeah, all right. There's another comment here. Check it out. Have you heard it compared to the other MPCs in terms of sound quality? You know what? I haven't compared them. I mean, I used to have I used to use the 1000, and definitely, like, I don't know, like, off my head, like, I can't really describe the difference, but you could hear, like, kind of a different, but that could be all mental too, because, like, when you have your MPC, whatever tool that you're using, there's a different feeling that you have with that, and, like, the way you interact with it, and, so some of it could be mental, because it definitely, I remember the MPC 1000 being a little bit different, you know. So your sound expansion pack is the bomb, by the way. Hey, I appreciate that. You know, hopefully you get some use out of it or whatever, you know. Now you know, I try to put a little variety on there. That AR kit is actually the analog rhythm, and I just plugged it right in and just sampled the sounds completely dry. I didn't even normalize them or anything, because I know a lot of people that are into drum sounds, they hear the analog rhythm and they're like, oh, how can I get my hands on that? Because that's how I was. And, you know, you could put those sounds right in the MPC and, you know, make some music, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, hey, thanks for the support, guys. Definitely appreciate that. And, you know, I'm kind of experimenting with these live videos. I'm going to do some more experimenting, and, you know, I did that one last night, doing this one today. So I'll definitely get some more live videos and, you know, do some more sound, like tweak some sounds and do some stuff like that live, kind of so we can hang out and talk about it, because, you know what I'm saying? It's, you know, it's always funner when you have, it is more fun when you have people, you know, interacting. But yeah, thanks guys. Thanks for checking it out. Going to go ahead and end the video. I don't see any more comments, what have you. But like I say, everything I talked about is in the description. You know, check it out. You could shop around. I kind of like Amazon because more people review products on Amazon. So like you can read and get other people's input as well. And it's not like if you go to music stores, obviously buy from music stores, like buy from wherever you want to buy, but you'll see like one or two comments, and a lot of times it's people like, you don't really get like the full picture. Like, but if you go to Amazon, you get a variety of, you know, information, and you can definitely learn things. You know what I'm saying? So there you go. Thanks for your support, guys. Yeah, thanks for your support, everyone, and thanks for the thanks for the feedback on the sound packs, because I might try to do more if it's actually valuable to you. I might try to do some more, and more drum sounds and more synth sounds. I have a lot of I got a lot of synthesizer. Like I got my Moog over here, my Minotaur, Blofeld, Analog 4. I got a lot of synths around, and I can sculpt a lot of sounds. So I might do some more, just, you know, just for fun. You know, it's just fun to make. You know, if I'm gonna make them, I might as well share them. You know what I'm saying? But appreciate your support, y'all. And until next time, continue to create music. You know, that's what the channel's about. Making music. You know, making whatever you want to make. I'm all about the creativity, but make music. It doesn't matter. Make it good, make it bad, make it freaking phenomenal. Just make it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.